How you doing, everybody? It's Dracbolt. I am casting a 2v2 on the custom map Spice Pools between Frontliner and there's a bunch of people in here. Frontliner and the Slow Kiwi are both Atreides, and GodlyCheese and TheRaffy are both Harkonnen. So they're going to be up here. Got a nice yellow and a nice purple. That purple is a little close to this purple, but it's red enough. It's good enough to be distinguishable, I think. Looks like everybody's here. Good game, everybody. Good luck. This should be pretty fun, actually. I don't think I have ever casted a 2v2. So this will be entertaining. Just FYI, I'm drinking vodka because right now I have no reason not to. So I may be a little slow on the gun, or otherwise a little odd. But I do see the Harkonnens doing a fair amount of scouting around the map, and everybody is just trying to get a basic feel. Oh, there's a sandstorm, so now everybody lost their visibility again. But the Atreides are going to keep moving here. This is a Harkonnen. Let's see, who is what color here? All right, let me get everybody to announce themselves again. I can't quite remember who was what color. I think Frontliner was light blue. I believe he is the guy who is wandering around over here looking for a good place. GodlyCheese, so yeah, I don't really... wait a minute, now the Slow Kiwi and GodlyCheese both look like they're... Well, some of the colors on this text down here might be wrong. But anyway, we have a 2v2 between Harkonnen and Atreides, so, you know, who cares who's who. Still a lot of scouting going on here, maybe some patrol patterns. I see somebody on the Atreides team going for heavy refinery, heavy kind of a mid-game build, going heavy macro right out the gate. The other Atreides player took an awful long time to pick a spot to land on. This is as good a spot as any. This is where the Ordos would normally start, so there should be plenty of concrete around here to use. But he is starting kind of close to the edge of the base. We all know what that means if mercenaries come into the game. The Harkonnen players have both started right next to each other. That will give them some advantages, but it will also mean they don't have quite enough space. See them both starting off. Pretty standard builds with outposts and refineries, wind traps, pretty even all across the board. Looks like the pink player here is getting a few more refineries. So we're definitely underway. Every player's getting a little bit situated. They all got a little bit of scouting done. I'm not quite sure how much scouting they got done after the sandstorm. Hopefully they scout out a little bit more. They definitely need that. There's a little some Atreides hiding down there in the rock for whatever reason. Help out the main player. I don't know if the Harkonnen actually know that the Atreides have one of the players setting up over here. If they do, I imagine they might team up and send a whole bunch of their people over to this side all at once. And I gotta say, I'm really happy that, you know, we can actually have a 2v2. That's kind of amazing. There's another sandstorm. Those are fun. Take away everyone's visibility. Nobody can see now. It's all black. Worm sign just came on. Some players like to stop their harvesters, keep them from being eaten during worm sign. Some players don't really care. It doesn't hurt you too bad if you let your harvesters go because they don't cost any money. They just take a lot of time to build. Got a refinery on. Let's see, Frontliner. Yeah, Frontliner is hosting this game, and so far everyone seems to have a good connection to it. We don't have any lag or anything yet. I think this is Frontliner. Let me just ask. Just want to be sure, because I can't really tell from the text. I never coded it that way. GodlyCheese. Alright, so GodlyCheese is the gold Harkonnen. So TheRaffy is the pink team. Where's the shooting going on? Okay, over here we have a little scout coming in there and getting killed. Alright. So that means the Slow Kiwi is the Cyan player over here, and that kind of makes sense because he He's probably a little rusty. He probably hasn't played in a while, so he took the longest to get his base set up. But he does already have a decent little setup. He's got at least one carry-all out and a few refineries. That's the way to begin. Frontliner looks like he's beginning a little more strongly with the macro build. He does like gun turrets. I see him putting a lot of those up, and that's always good. It's nice to see those actually being used. Let's see. TheRaffy has two different high-tech factories up. That's kind of surprising because that means he can get he's Harkonnen, so he can't build ornithopters. But having two of these up means that he can get an awful... No, wait a minute. No, I see the flag. No, he only has one, and then GodlyCheese has the other one. So they're okay. They each have one high-tech factory and at least one carry-all. So there's some good money being made over here. Light vehicle factory out for the first offensive unit. GodlyCheese already has the House of Ix up, so that's good for him. Frontliner's enjoying putting up his turrets, and unfortunately he just ended up telling Raffy that that's exactly what he put up, so Raffy can probably make some assumptions about his gameplay based on that. Probably shouldn't do that. The Slow Kiwi is having a little power shortage, but otherwise seems to be doing just fine. Oh, I see Frontliner put up a couple of turrets right next to his base. That's cool. Give him a little defense. So we'll see how it goes when some action starts happening. Not sure what GodlyCheese is up to. He's getting the. Let's see. We may have some very serious lag going on here. Okay, just cleared up a little bit. I don't know if somebody has some other process running or something that's slowing everybody down. Definitely not me. Anyway, GodlyCheese has a House of Ix up, but no other real important structures yet that I can see aside from the high-tech factory. I don't see his flag on anything else or his colors, so I'm not quite sure what his plans are. We shall have to see. TheRaffy is already getting he's already got a little bit of a mix of units, but I think those are just his starting units. He is going with an MCV right away. He does often like to make an awful lot of construction yards, and likes to spread more or less like a virus. A little bit of scouting going on from the Slow Kiwi. It's always good. I mean, intelligence is so important in this game. It's absolutely critical in Doom 2 to know what the heck is going on. Because, you know, it's just, like I say in other casts, it's just like StarCraft 2, it's just like Dawn of War, it's like any other game. If you don't know what your opponent is up to, if you don't even have the slightest idea, then all you're doing is making guesses, and, you know, you're basically throwing darts and hoping for a bullseye, and that's never a good position to be in. All right, here we go. The Slow Kiwi has powered up to his heavy vehicle factory. No, he's got a palace out already, so he's probably allied with a spacing guild. And that means he gets a discount at the starport, which he's also got, and he's just purchased a whole pile of rocket launchers, so we'll see if he tries to support that with anything else. We still are getting quite a bit of lag. I'm not sure who's behind that. We don't have too many units on the board yet, so I'm surprised to get that much lag, but we do have 4 players, so you know, I guess that can definitely have something to do with it. But because it's sporadic like that, because sometimes it's working perfectly, I tend to think somebody's got like a firewall, zone alarm, or antivirus, or something else that's just running every once in a while, really slowing things down. So we'll see how it picks up. Where's the combat going on? Got a little bit of shooting over here. The scout of the Slow Kiwi gets taken out, but Frontliner's rocket launchers are coming in here. They're going to have a little trouble shooting that tank. They're not really very good at that. They did get him. And a little more lag. Now they're going to try to shoot up this little quad. Slowly. Everything going very slowly. Alright. We got a supporting tank airlifting. That is actually not a friendly tank. That is one of TheRaffy's tanks. The Slow Kiwi also coming in with a whole bunch of trikes. That's always good. It would be nice if he attacked maybe a little bit elsewhere, but no problem. Rocket launcher's doing a lot of damage. TheRaffy is soaking up a lot of hits. Definitely need to get these light vehicles moving for Slow Kiwi. He needs to get them up front so they can start hitting these enemy rocket launchers right away. That's very important. I see TheRaffy is having them retreat, which is always a good idea. Retreat function is very important. Still a little bit of lag going on here. Not sure what's happening with somebody's computer. The lag in this game is not usually caused by network connection. It's usually caused by somebody's CPU having problems. So, like I say, I think somebody's got something running in the background. Let's see how far this goes here, though. The rocket launchers are poised. They are in a position to do an awful lot of damage. The Slow Kiwi really should get some of these light vehicles up in front to try and protect some of those rocket launchers, because otherwise they're going to get beat up. Even light vehicles can take them out if they get close enough. They don't have a lot of hit points. He has enough of them to do some damage, but TheRaffy also does have some rocket launchers. They're going to do a lot of return damage. This quad over here and this little flak strike down here not doing a whole lot of good. So I think Raffy is actually recommending to Frontliner that he retreat. That wouldn't be a bad idea, rather than lose all of his vehicles. So I don't know if he actually did use the retreat key, which makes retreat automatic, or if he actually told him to move away. I imagine he told them to retreat since they left combat. So TheRaffy did survive that. He lost a few things, but he did survive. Lost a little bit of money. GodlyCheese is doing okay. I'm doing okay too. How are you? Frontliner put up another turret over there, so the Slow Kiwi is in a position to survive, at least for now. Does have some of the basics. Light vehicle, heavy vehicle factory, X. We'll see what kind of tech he goes up to. Latest version of Dune 2: The Golden Path has kind of a level 2 tech structure where if you research all the normal tech options, then all of a sudden you get the ability to gain to research other things that give you 25% bonuses for various kinds of units. So if one of these players actually does tech up to that, I'll be interested to know about it, and you'll immediately see them perform much better. Unfortunately, GodlyCheese is not watching his quads too closely when he's having them move. They're getting eaten up by the worms, but he did stop them on the rock, so he should be okay. Frontliner's still going very strong on macro. Still got an awful lot of harvesters working. Let's see what his plan is. Frontliner usually likes to save up a lot of money and make some big purchases all at once, so we shall see what he intends. I still hear worms eating people. Slow Kiwi is turning out a bunch of tanks. Doesn't look like he has any other plans, really. Well, still a lot of lag. I mean, we do have a lot of players here, and there are, a fair little number of units out there, but there aren't quite enough to slow things down like this. I still think somebody's actual computer is having a problem. Harkonnens are doing all right, though. I'd have to say, I guess the Harkonnens. It looks like it's pretty even so far. There's basically the same amount of macro and the same amount of offensive unit production on each side. I don't know what's going on with research. I never coded that into the game. I never really. I mean, at this point, adding some things like that, some more advanced information into the game is kind of a mess, because a lot of this game is based on older code from an older project that I had, and it's just, I don't really officially support it anymore in terms of the code, because it's just getting too difficult to go back and try to fix little bugs and stuff. There's too many changes required, and it's just not equitable anymore. I did see here's some troopers. They're just regular troopers. They're not Sardaukar or Fremen, so it looks like GodlyCheese is starting to go a little heavy on the foot unit side, which is great. I love seeing foot units. I wish people would use them more often. Unfortunately, he's again not paying attention to the worms, and several of them are getting eaten. So TheRaffy does have a palace. I don't know yet what he's allied with. I don't see. Here comes the Slow Kiwi ornithopters, and I don't see any flak trikes in there, so that does put the TheRaffy at a major disadvantage. He's going to lose several units in here when these ornithopters make their rounds. There was another quad. See what else they decide to shoot at. Definitely lag. Someone got a firewall or AV running. A little bit of skirmishing going on here. There's a tank that was on move orders that got killed. Yeah, this isn't really enough units to normally slow down a game, so I suspect somebody else is doing something. Anyway, I'm blabbering away about that, about the performance thing. You can obviously see that there is slowdown in the game, so I don't need to keep telling you about it. TheRaffy amassing a fair little force here. These flak trikes are definitely going to shoot down some ornithopters if the slow Kiwi doesn't. Yeah, okay, this one's going back for repairs. The slow Kiwi may want to turn off airstrikes for now, since he knows that there are flak trikes out there. We'll see if he does that. Slow Kiwi has some stuff over here, a bunch of flak trikes to protect against harassment or drops, which are definitely a threat. And I see Frontliner coming up with a whole bunch of units. They really should try and group these up before they go in for a massive attack. It's not really a good idea to just send everybody in across a wide front line like that. So I'd like to see them kind of lump up first at a staging area of some kind before attacking. I see that GodlyCheese has another MCV coming out, and TheRaffy has how many? I only see one construction yard for TheRaffy. No, here's the other one. So he did expand down here, but that one is about to get taken out by an awful lot of tanks who just happen to notice that it's there. So it's going to defend itself a little bit, but I think it's going to get taken out pretty quickly. And of course, that is aggroing all of TheRaffy's units up here. I think we're going to see a fairly good-sized conflict at the moment. Unfortunately, most of the Atreides units are not lumped together, so they're going to come in piecemeal. They're going to get shot by these tanks absorbing damage in the front line, and then rocket launchers in the rear line doing an awful lot of damage on their own. I don't foresee a good outcome for the Atreides here. They just don't have the kind of firepower they need right now. I don't know what these flak trikes are doing. They're not really helping anybody up there. Awful lot of people getting shot, killed. Some more tanks coming up, but again, a little bit late to the party. It's kind of good that they're coming in on the angle they are, because they should be able to reach those rocket launchers before other units get in the way. So they should be able to make a few kills, but still there just aren't enough of them, and they're not grouped appropriately. Here's a whole bunch of the slow Kiwis, trikes. They are not getting quite close enough to do a lot of damage. So unfortunately, that Atreides attack just is not turning out too well. Really would have been better if they had lumped up a little bit before they came in, because right now the TheRaffy just has too many units stuck in here. The TheRaffy can actually push onward if he wants. I would recommend that. I don't know if they're planning on doing so, but I mean, yeah, you should definitely just go ahead and attack after that. When you know the enemy's had a failed major attack like that, you know, depending on your level of intelligence of your intel, how much of the enemy's base you can see, it's you know, unless it really looks like they're still in good shape, it's a good idea to just attack when somebody goes all in like that, which makes the order of retreat even more important for most users. I mean, in that case, Frontliner probably could have saved at least half of his vehicles by just retreating them away. In the end, he didn't do a lot of damage to the enemy. There were just too many Harkonnen. So, not looking good for the Atreides, but we'll see how they pull out this defense. This is going to be interesting. The rocket launcher is going to do a lot of damage to the infantry, especially when they lump up and the rocket launcher makes a couple of errant shots. That's going to do him some good. But unfortunately, Frontliner did invest very heavily in gun turrets, and those are not very effective against troopers, especially. They're not effective against foot units, and especially troopers. It would be nice if he had some guard turrets here to help out with that. The rocket launchers in the background will do significant damage, but these gun turrets are just not going to last long against that many tanks with rocket launcher backup. So I expect a lot of penetration here from the Harkonnen. Again, I don't know what kind of upgrades he's invested in. TheRaffy does have an X. I don't know if he's gotten quite enough money to get some of the higher level, some of the tier 2 upgrades. So I don't know just how strong his units are. But Harkonnen are already a little bit stronger than other units, a little bit slower, a little bit stronger. So we'll see what happens. These rocket launchers really should retreat. He should put a retreat flag back here and tell them to retreat so they can get out of combat. As it is, they're just going to get hammered. There's no reason for them to sit there that close to all these tanks. That's just no good for them. There's really no excuse for it too because he's got lag. So Frontliner really should be able to manage, his units pretty closely at this point, and that's not really happening. So I don't know where Frontliner's attention is. I don't see a whole lot of activity elsewhere. So Frontliner's just kind of sitting here watching all these tanks run him over. He doesn't have any other resources at the moment, but if they were positioned a little bit better, then they would be doing a little bit more damage to the enemy, that's for sure. Trying to build another turret, I think, but that one got taken out pretty fast. In the Golden Path, you can't keep a building constructing while it's under attack very easily. So, if Frontliner tries to build any new turrets here, it's not going to do them a lot of good. It really doesn't look too good for Frontliner. I mean, okay, so I was just going to say, this is exactly what I'm expecting. Because this is something Frontliner likes to do. He often saves up a lot of money and then just churns out stuff from a starport. He's very fond of that tactic. I don't know quite how many infantry are in there. It's not all that many. I'm not sure how much money he actually has, but I really was waiting for him to just start unloading a whole pile of stuff. Infantry are definitely good at stopping major assaults. They have a lot of trouble if there are some rocket launchers back there, obviously. Here comes support. Rocket launchers will take them out very quickly, very easily, in groups, in droves, in waves. But infantry are so cheap, and they really do just kind of stymie enemy advances, so they're a good thing to bring out at times like this. Now, this is going to prove troublesome for Frontliner because I see a bunch of troopers and tanks coming from GodlyCheese on the right there, and they're going to do a lot of damage real quick to these refineries, and they're going to do enough. They're going to take out both those refineries most likely because there's really no anti-foot unit weaponry over there. The slow Kiwi does have a bunch of light vehicles, and they're going to do a little bit of damage to them. But troopers are very tough, so I don't quite know just how well these light vehicles are going to perform. Not too well, really. Harkonnen troopers are very tough, especially Harkonnen. Troopers are very tough, especially Harkonnen troopers. So for some reason, this rocket launcher ended up right in the middle of a bunch of tanks. He's going to get killed very quickly. But more is coming from TheRaffy. He has been gathering money. He has been building. He has been expanding, as well as GodlyCheese. So right now, Harkonnen are definitely on the front foot. They are making some good progress. The slow Kiwi actually has a pretty substantial base set up, and he's got his palace. I don't know what he's allied with. I don't know what kind of bonuses he's got at the moment. Frontliner definitely still in trouble. Most of the conflicts right now are centering around Frontliner's base for sure. So the slow Kiwi trying to support him with light vehicles, not sending anything heavier in yet. I haven't seen. I think maybe only a couple of tanks. TheRaffy's backing off a little bit. He does see that these rocket launchers way back here. They're in very good shape. There is still a gun turret piled in there, so TheRaffy just says, let's regroup. You can already see a whole bunch of queues set up for TheRaffy and GodlyCheese. They're going to pile up a bit bigger of an army to make a second assault. So we'll see how that goes. 2 gun turrets, 3 gun turrets, a whole lot of gun turrets. How'd this guy get down here? I didn't even pay attention. He got a ride in, I'm sure, on a carry-all, and I don't see any rocket turrets around to shoot him down, so that's probably exactly what happened. That guy's going to get shot up pretty soon. Still, even with the lag, very cool that this is possible, having a 2v2 game. I mean, this is just great. I'm very proud of this project. I mean, I worked many years on this, many hours a day. And the fact that it's to this point, I mean, it's stable with 5 people joined in the game, myself included, and so much going on, that's really cool. You know, the lag notwithstanding, this is just awesome. The fact that this all works so well. So, a little quirks about it. You have to learn, you know, exactly when to make games and join games in order to get some things to work, but pretty cool. That is a lot of gun turrets. Now, those aren't going to help any against the rocket launchers, but or the troopers so much. They're going to take down the tanks pretty well, but um, Frontliner could definitely use some rocket launcher, some rocket turrets, and some guard turrets. Kind of mix it up a little bit, especially if the TheRaffy ever decides to do some airdrops, because the TheRaffy is very fond of getting devastators and dropping them straight in enemy bases, and then destructing them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't really see the TheRaffy. The TheRaffy's not moving up in terms of tech. In fact, I haven't seen a single siege tank or faction-specific special unit yet. I don't see any sonic tanks. I don't see any devastators. I don't see any Fremen. I don't see any Death Hands. I don't see any Sardaukar. Yeah, these buildings aren't going to go anywhere. There's not enough happening there. That is an ornithopter from Frontliner. Frontliner has an ornithopter. Not a bad idea. He probably should turn off airstrikes if these guys all retreat to make sure that that ornithopter doesn't get itself killed in case the enemy has any anti-air line around. Otherwise, that ornithopter is just going to keep circling back and killing every unit that it can. So the Harkonnen's still trying to decide exactly what they want to do. Now here's the thing. This is a lot of gun turrets. In this kind of situation, you pretty much want to say to yourself that, you know, I probably should attack somewhere else, you know, anywhere else, other than straight at the strongest point of the enemy. Everybody likes to, you know, it's kind of an ego thing. Everybody likes to just, you know, hit the enemy where it's hardest, and you feel like, okay, if I break them here, then that's going to just crush them, and I'll be able to run in and just kill everybody. But, you know, the fact of the matter is you can do a lot more damage, and it's not like you're being cowardly or something. You're just being smart going somewhere else. So if somebody would just kind of go over here, trash this stuff, come over here, trash that high-tech factory, straight down into here, you know, a little bit of intelligence would go a long way here. Looks like the game has frozen up a little bit. Nobody really answered me when I asked if anyone had, you know, antivirus or anything else running. Looks like maybe Frontliner had a crash because he was hosting this game. Or maybe somebody's ready to drop out. I don't really know yet. Game is definitely frozen. Happens every once in a while. Still, I mean, we got through 28 minutes of a 2v2. I'm happy about that. There's an awful lot of action going on. Still, I would like to know why it's all locked up. Let me, I'm going to chat outside of the game real quick to Frontliner and see how he's doing. Head over to the forum. If you're familiar with the development page, head over to the forums and you'll find out where we're keeping a new chat room. It's an open. Oh, okay, I see Frontliner just went offline on Steam. Normally we have chats through Steam, but Frontliner did just open up a new IRC web chat area, and I don't want to post a link straight to it because it's wide open in terms of security, and we'll get a lot of spammers and bots and stuff. So just go to the forum and you'll find the link in there. But again, I do see Frontliner went offline, so I think he had a crash. So that probably spells the end of this game. Would have been interesting to see what people did in terms of late game stuff. If I had to kind of call a tiebreaker here and say who was going to win, based on what I'm seeing, I mean, the Atreides do have some pretty impressive bases out there, but not a lot of defenses. So I'm not sure how much. I'm not privy to the credit levels for each player, so I'm not sure how many credits the Slow Kiwi was sitting on. I'm not sure what he could have done. Doing a little attack up here that might have done some damage for sure. There was a response kind of immediately from the other player to put up some troopers. Um, Not sure whose troopers those were. Don't see any special kinds of troopers coming out or a war facility or anything. So, yeah, they were probably just the Harkonnen troopers that were going to come out and demolish these tanks, which they would have pretty quickly. Good place to attack right here. Not a lot of defenses. A couple of gun turrets. Those would have been real hard to take out given their position. 6 tanks, not going to do a whole lot of damage. Just more like a harassment force, more like a distraction, almost more than anything. Couple of defensive units or turrets are going to do some considerable damage to that. But, you know, who knows what would have happened if they'd punched in a little bit. Do have the TheRaffy does have a fair amount of stuff, and I see down here GodlyCheese is expanded with an awful lot of macro. So Harkonnens were really kind of on the offensive, and that's exactly where you want to be. As a Harkonnen, you want to control the fight. You always want to control the fight because Harkonnens are a little bit tougher than other people. You want to make sure the fight always happens on your territory. And as anybody going against the Harkonnens, that's what you want to prevent. You don't want to let them turtle up, and you don't want to let them kind of bring the fight to you. You want to make sure you control the board and you harass them. You hit their harvesting operations. You got to try and control the Harkonnen. Otherwise, they're very durable if they just sit right where they are. And if they have home territory, the Harkonnen are very tough. Anyway, I'm going to stop this recording, and maybe we'll get to something else. I still don't see Frontliner coming back up, so he must have had a pretty solid crash or something. And the other players, I'm sure, are disappointed this game couldn't be finished, but that is the way it goes when the host drops out. I don't have any kind of redundancy built into the network, so anyway, this was a good game. It was shaping up to be a good game moving on too. I don't know how long it would have taken. Not a lot going on from the Slow Kiwi, but a lot of buildings, pretty decent. Frontliner doing a decent recovery. Also, basically all players pretty healthy. All players pretty healthy and not undergoing a lot of risk. So that game could have gone either way. Once again, this is Drakbolt, creator and developer of Dune 2: The Golden Path, and this was a 2v2 game between GodlyCheese and TheRaffy as Harkonnen and the Slow Kiwi and Frontliner as the Atreides. Thank you for watching. Bye.